Hey, what's up, my local YouTubers, men and women? Check this out. I just purchased this V-amp. It's a Vampire Behringer. It was missing knobs, and I did some research and couldn't find anyone who had some legit specs on repairing some knobs. On this particular Behringer, on any Behringer that they're digital modelers, so you got amp models on it, and I was missing on this one. I purchased it actually for $20, and I purchased 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I purchased 5 broken knobs basically. Thing works great. The knobs, the pods were still working. The one thing about this particular amps and the V amps is these are not potometers, they are encoders. So to go ahead and purchase them, I'm sure you can find them on Mauser, DigiKey. I'm not too much of a savvy type of person to go ahead and go down to the model of it, but I just didn't want to go ahead and pull them, resolder them and whatnot. So the pods were working just fine. So what I basically wanted to do is just put some, your standard, what I call them, sticks in them, and durable sticks at that. So what happened is I pulled off the faceplate here. This is the Vampire faceplate. As you can see, it's missing some of the plastics here where it had the LEDs that go around. They still work. This whole thing still works. These were 3 that were missing. These were 3 of the knobs that were broken off. And then we also, if you come over here, Danny, and then we also had the clicker one, which was the rotary one that clicks, that was also broken. And then we also have here the reverb, which you see here. And then the master is a potometer on this, which is interesting because on the V amp, these there's no potometers, they're all encoders. So I purchased this for $20, and I thought I'd go ahead and fix it myself. I did some research on the internet. It didn't seem like too many people had any kind of inquiry about these, so I went ahead and took it apart as we have it now. And as I took them apart, let's go ahead and break it again. Let's go ahead and, as I took it apart, the original bolts that were in it, that come off of the tops here, these bolts in particular, you want to go ahead and take a close-up. These bolts, if you have a stripped, and you still have the plastic that's embedded in there, these are a perfect fit into it. Right into the plastics. These are the perfect screws. So if you want to know the dimensions or what they are, just pull the ones off of your head here. And this is the exact dimensions that will fit right into that hole. All you got to do is, perhaps, because these are dented, is cut down to where it makes a perfect circle, and these will fit. So whatever dimensions those are, that's what this is. So I went out and purchased these particular bolts. Actually, I was headed out to Ace Hardware. They were closed, and my local 99-cent store had some wonderful bolts that were just the exact size. And it was a small little kit like this that I purchased from 99-cent store that had them. They had the heads on them. There were screw heads that were on them. And at that point, what I did was I figured that I had to make some guides. Now let's get a close up here, Danny. These guides here, basically what I figured was we need to get at least halfway down to that encoder. And how was I going to be able to measure these? I simply made a guide using a big pen, and I'll show you how I'll give you that real quick. This is one of your standard pens that fit right over the potometer. You can just push that down, and as you can see, the bolt sticks out just there. Before the bolt's even installed, this is a guide basically for the bolt. And the same thing that I purchased, 99 cents, came with bolts.
But you cut them off.
we had to measure what was the exact depth from the bottom, from the middle of the photometer to the top, and how much we want it to actually extend out of the actual. So basically what we're going to do is we want to put any kind of knob we want on this. So we had to extend it further than the original ones. You get the original ones, Denny? These ones, the black ones? Want to extend it out just much more because it's better to give more than because we can always take away and we can never add on. Basically what we did with the same bolts that we had here, with that guide that we made with the big pin, all we did was screw that on. Give me 1 second here. And we guided all these, we guided everything. For all those that were broken, we made guides for all of them. As you can see, they all have a little bit of play. And we use these particular bolts here before we put them in. Now how do we stick them? That's the next question. How were we able to put them and place them into play? Well, again, at the 99-cent store we were able to use the single-use super glues, epoxies that you purchase for 99 cents. We put that at the end of it, and again, using these as guides, simply put them in, get the depth that you need them at, and having the bolt to go in and hold them. These particular epoxies set in about 5-10 minutes. Give it a little heat, and you're able to go ahead and pull the bolts out, and they've all set straight. Take out your guides. These are all your guides that you're going to be taking out. I actually got one more. I didn't show you guys that one, but it's all the same. And what you want to do is after about 10 minutes is make sure that they do turn and you don't let it sit completely. And as you know, these encoders spin all the way around, and these are spinning wonderfully. These are all spinning good. Now when you come to this one, this is the most important. These particular epoxies that I purchased, which are the single, they have 25, oh no, I'm sorry, the ones I used on that one only had 1500 psi, same place I got it from. And this being a rotary one that has the clicker for all your effects, works just fine. The tension upon it is wonderful. As you can hear it clicks. And by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. These were all screws that I purchased originally from the 99-cent store package, and all I did was take a Dremel cut off head and cut off the heads of these, flipped it around off of the rough edge, and I placed the rough edge on the inside, and then put the bolt on the other end. And these again are only 99 cents. So this is the project done here. As you can see, everything turns just fine. Everything's working just fine. Now my next step is I got to plug this right back in. Make sure that everything was working. Again, once again, the pods were working just fine. I did so much research that I was looking for the pods. I'm not too familiar about the encoders. These were working just fine when I purchased it, and if they were working just fine, why couldn't I just fix them? And this was my attempt. I can assure you that now that they're in with the epoxies that I showed you and with the stems that we just put in, that probably the plastic ones are going to fuck up before any of these will. And again, this is a great fix. It's solid. Right now I'm only in the making of this in about, how long has it been now? cameraman. It's been about 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, he's giving me one, thinking that it's about been an hour since we've done all this. There was a big, let me just go ahead and include some more background on this, why these were all broken perhaps. Here on the Behringer, as you can see on the Lx, there was a hole down here. I can only assume at this point that it got a big bang somewhere. We actually had to take this whole thing off. The bass, the mid, the treble part of the faceplate was bent in, so I had to straighten that out. A little bull peen hammer was able to allow me to go ahead and just tap that up from behind. As you can see from behind though, what I had to do, go ahead and get that. Some of these guiding screws that we hold and put that this PCB board goes to, that the piece of this PCB board that we've been working on goes to, were broken off due to that hit. So we have one here, and then we got one here, and we got one here. So we had three that were broken off. And again, we went to the 99-cent store and they had this instant epoxy. Oh, this ain't it though. I think, give me 1 second. Same thing, this is the metal epoxy here. As you can see, it has 25 psi. Its job is only to do was to go ahead and connect metal to metal here, and all I needed to do is just to bracket this down and to keep it aligned. So the same thing you got from 99-cent store. They're all over the world, I'm sure, so you can find this. And so these are the three brackets that were behind it. So I was able to hammer out the dent. I was able to go ahead and put these back on. We'll basically tomorrow we're going to go ahead and put that PCB board back into its faceplate, and that's what it is. This is the faceplate. This is the PCB board. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little close shot of that. This is a side shot of the screws that we purchased from the 99-cent store again. And these things are made to rumble. So if you guys got any questions, or you guys have anything, I mean, these things, I'm gonna go ahead and test it tomorrow. I'm assuming that it's spinning just fine, that this is gonna rock and roll. So if this helps anybody, I just want to go ahead and share that. We thought we were gonna go ahead and put in our vaults, but we thought we'd share this with you because I was searching for it, and we need to share that with the world. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and just hit me up. Alright. You guys have a good evening. Or night. Or morning. Wherever you guys are watching this. Peace!